Hello everyone, welcome to the Mint analysis for 10th March 2022. I want to share that I have already shared with you the Mint text analysis over the group, and you can join my Telegram group, link will be in the description. Next is the highlight of today. Recently RBI has introduced UPI 123 Pay for feature phones. So this system will allow the feature phones to have UPI payments so they can transact via UPI without internet facility. So what's the thing is that the UPI payment was even available before with the feature phones as well. Feature phones are actually these ones. So they used to have the UPI payment system, but they had to dial this number and then they had to make the payment. So the process was not smooth, and now the RBI has introduced UPI 123 Pay, based on which now without internet these feature phones will emit sound waves through which they can carry out the UPI payments. And why was it necessary? So, through a survey, we came to know that in August 2021, there were 320 million feature phones users in India. So, to provide a good service to these 320 million people, this step is taken, and this will further reduce the hustle they had faced from quite some time. So, this is all we had in this news. The main news for today is stocks soar on global cues, exit poll results. So the stocks are going up. There are two main reasons. First is that exit poll results has been announced, and now we can have an idea about who is going to win, who will have the majority in which state. And second is that the geopolitical uncertainty has been eased. And why so? Because Ukraine has said that it will not seek membership in NATO. And this was the very first reason why Russia attacked Ukraine. So Russia has also said that it won't overthrow Ukraine leadership. So because of which now uncertainties have been lessened, and because of which the stocks are soaring. And also you have seen that US stocks have jumped and oil prices have dropped. So this is the same scenario we have studied earlier, that when stocks jump, the oil prices we have an inverse relationship between the two. The oil prices go down and the stocks jump. Apart from this, let me give you a background of what exit poll results were there. So it is said that in Punjab, AAP has a majority. In Uttar Pradesh, Uttarakhand and Manipur, BJP has the majority. And in Goa, BJP and Congress will have a close fight. So these are the exit polls result. And we know about the easing tension, geopolitical tension. So these are the changes. And also the technology index, which is NASDAQ, has jumped by 3.5%, which means the technology sector is also optimistic about the future. Next is fuel retailers may resume price hikes as energy rates jump. So don't confuse it with the previous things where we are saying that US oil prices are dropping. Here we are talking about oil prices taking a jump in India. And why specifically? Because the government has been holding back the prices of oil due to the elections. And now, since the elections are done, we can expect a price hike in energy rates anytime soon. But however, so we know that global energy prices have gone up. But all these increase cannot be shifted to consumers because it might overburden them, and hence government may consider cutting out the VAT. So they might reduce the VAT over oil, and doing this will further ease the tension, the pressure that will be there on the consumer. So this might be the step. Now let's go ahead. LIC's mega share sale gets SEBI nod. So on Tuesday, the SEBI has given a nod for LIC IPO, and now it will be in government's hand whether they want to delay it or they want to bring the IPO soon. And also, I just wanted to highlight it because it was on Tuesday that the final observation for the public issue was issued by SEBI on Tuesday evening. Next is a very short news that Center has removed upper age limit for NEET undergraduate examination, which means now even some older people will be able to appear for it. Government approves new corporation to monetize PSU land buildings. Now someone was asking me that why government is, you know, coming up with an LIC IPO. So I wanted to tell you that government is trying to get away with all these non-strategic asset, non-core asset, because they are not able to utilize it. And in order to run an economy to fully utilize the resources, it is going to shed away its non-core assets, based on which it has disinvested some amount from LIC IPO, so that it can gain something out of it and use it towards other useful purposes. And same is happening with the land. So it is said that public sector companies hold nearly 3,400 acres of land. So if they will be able to sell it, they will use this money towards more efficient economic policies. Now for this, for carrying out this activity, there will be a special purpose vehicle which will be called National Land Monetization Corporation, and it will monetize all the surplus land. So why do these things like special purpose vehicle comes into picture? So even banks have special purpose vehicles, even some companies have their special purpose vehicles, and they usually have it in Luxembourg because of some benefits that they are seeing. So, for example, companies having SPVs in Luxembourg is because it's a tax haven. You get taxed a little lesser than what you pay in other countries. So here it is kind of an outsourcing of work. You have a specially established an entity which is called special purpose vehicle for carrying out a specific operation. Here in this case, to sell the land. So this is why companies try to offload its liability and assets, so its main business won't be affected through this operation, and it will be able to carry out its normal activities as and when it want to. So this is the main purpose and characteristics of SPV. It will allow you to get away with the liabilities risk, and it won't hamper your current position. Next is EC removes 3 UP officials from poll duty. So it was alleged by Samajwadi Party that the EVMs, yani electronic voting machines, they were moved in an unauthorized manner. So we all know that they have some protocol about how EVMs will be covered, where they will be taken by which man, by which vehicle. So they have alleged that it was not authorized, and BJP has petitioned in Election Commission that this is a false information and it will impact our image. So please take some step. This was a short news. Next is oil firms track Russia sanctions to secure investments worth $16 billion. So as we have seen that many oil companies are withdrawing from Russia, and right now they just want to safeguard their interests. They don't want their returns to get hampered because of the sanctions and everything. So what they are doing is they are somehow securing the investments. For example, ExxonMobil and BP PLC and Shell, they have already shut down its operation. They are not providing their services. So they just safely want to withdraw their service from there on. Next is cement makers face recovery slowdown. So cement industry is seeing a slowdown because it uses some crude based input for its cement industry, and the major one is petcoke, which is petroleum coke. That's why they are experiencing a slowdown. Next is, so cement industry is the one which is facing a downtime, but also there are some companies which are trying to tap into the opportunities, and they are making use of this Russia Ukraine war. So it has created some loopholes. There are some supply deficits which Indian companies are trying to tap to. One is steel company. So there is a shortage of steel in Europe, and that's why India and China have come up with this idea that they will supply the steel to these Europe countries. So there will be one more that we will be studying about RIL later on. Next is domestic investors push net equity mutual fund inflows in February up by 35%. And why is this happening? So let's first understand what the news is saying. So it is saying that the mutual fund inflows in equity has increased. So we know that in mutual funds you have savings mutual fund, you have equity mutual fund. In equity mutual fund you further have mid cap, small cap, large cap. So in February, due to uncertainties, people were they faced very risky situation in the stock markets. So instead of investing in stock markets, instead of taking too much of risk, what they did was, whenever they saw that the market is going down, they used to invest in mutual fund equity, because They wanted to take the advantage of lesser NAV. NAV means net asset value. So to take advantage of that, there were more inflows in mutual fund equities, which was observed, and it was up by 35% as compared to previous percentage. So it was up by 35%. This is a huge percentage, and the domestic investors were able to make this wise decision. This is what the news is saying. Okay, now let's come to next news. RIL to supply diesel in fuel-starved Europe. So, since there will be sanctions on Russia and there might be a fuel deficiency in Europe, so RIL is trying to supply diesel to Europe and capitalize on this opportunity. So that's what they are planning. Another industry which will get benefited after the Indian space sector. So in yesterday's newspaper, we saw that there was a retaliation move from Russia that we wouldn't be carrying out space projects for other countries. So India becomes the next best destination to launch satellites. So Indian space sector might get benefited, and similarly, companies like steel companies and RIL are also tapping on the opportunities. Next is inflation may dampen summer sales for consumer durables. So inflation is there in the market, and it is being said that now the demand for refrigerators, ACs, coolers, these might go down because of the inflation. These are called basically consumer durables. So this is the news. Next is military turns to AR/VR for combat and training pilots. As you know that there are some very expensive machines because of which pilots may not get training, may not be able to get the training on those actual equipments. And due to this, ARs and VRs is used to provide them with the simulated environment and how they should be operating in that vehicle. So because of which, right now, military has also turned to AR and VR. So you can see that how big the market is for AR and VR. So this is all we have in today's newspaper. If you have liked the video, please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. And please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I'm saying it again because there are many of you who haven't subscribed. So please do it. Thank you so much.